Welcome to my channel where we shine a spotlight on successful businesswomen. In every episode, we're going to be sitting down with an inspiring female entrepreneur to learn her journey to success while glamming her makeup. You don't want to miss out on any of the inspiration and insights from these women entrepreneurs, so make sure to subscribe now to this channel and join us on this empowering journey. Introducing our dynamic guest, a powerhouse entrepreneur and a devoted mother to an 11-year-old son, originally hailing from the heart of Oklahoma and transplanting her dreams here to Florida in 2018. With nothing but sheer determination and no support network, she skyrocketed to establishing a 7-figure empire in under 5 years. She wears 2 hats, one as the head of a thriving plumbing company and another as a licensed real estate pro. Her accomplishments have earned her the prestigious 5-star professional award in real estate for multiple years and securing a spot as the Reader's Choice nominee for Sarasota and Bradenton in the plumbing realm. Let's welcome Shelbi Loftin.
Thank you so much. You make me cry.
Welcome, Shelbi.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining on the show today.
No problem.
So today what we're going to do with Shelbi, we're going to do a fun, soft glam look. So I'm sure with all the crazy, hectic work life, I'm sure she wants to do something a little bit more relaxing and fun to go out with. So
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Shelbi, go ahead and tell us a little bit about your background.
Okay.
Like, we know you come from Oklahoma, but just tell us like where you all started and how did you start in your particular industry? Take us from the top.
Let's think about this. Plumbing would be my husband, and I started dating him at the age of 18, shockingly, right after high school. I had actually met him in the 6th grade, but I never gave him the time of day until after graduation. He was actually an apprentice then, and we got married. I was 20, so we got married in 2007. Worked for people in the meantime, so worked my way up the corporate ladder, and then I think we had been together maybe 15 or 16 years.
So you were in the corporate world before doing anything else?
Yes.
What did you do in corporate?
So I did everything from answer the phones. My last job before moving was the corporate world. I worked for that company for 8 years, where I started as a receptionist and kind of accounts receivable clerk, and then moved into an accounts receivable manager and then an inventory manager for them. So huge growth happened within that company. When I first started, they had 20 stores. When I left, we had 70 stores.
That's incredible.
So it was a lot of transition, and I moved from being a receptionist to managing a team of 5 to 6 women and having remote offices, and finally completed my bachelor's in 2018. And it was kind of like,
congrats.
Thank you. It was a lot of work, and I was doing that while working full-time. But it was 2017 where we really said, like, is this it? Like, we're just gonna work for everybody else and live for the weekends and, you know, live for our 2 weeks off a year and do it here in Oklahoma, of all places. Love my state, it's beautiful, but it's also Oklahoma.
Is that the Sooners?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Actually, that's right, Boomer Sooner. But it just kind of hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, this is it. This is my life. It's just to work 40 hours a week and then live for the weekends. And I wasn't okay with that. So that's where Florida happened. I started traveling to Florida, and then...
Whose idea was Florida? Was that you or your husband?
Definitely me.
Okay.
100% me. In that, there was one year, I think I traveled to Florida 5 or 6 times. And every time I left, I was bummed. Like, I never wanted to go back home to Oklahoma. And that was kind of a big sign for me. But then nobody moves out of Oklahoma, and I was kind of the first in my family to do that. But yeah, crazy. I have been called crazy. But
I feel like that's the case with most entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's crazy until you do it.
Yeah. So he had been a journeyman in Oklahoma, running really big jobs. But we always worked for other people. And it was 2018 when I said, you know, we're either going to do it now or not at all. Because our son was just finishing kindergarten. And there was just a huge shift that happened. We quit our jobs, we sold our house, and we moved to Florida as soon as I finished my bachelor's, basically, and my son finished kindergarten. So
you took the leap of faith.
Just a huge jump. Like I said, there's no family here, no friends here. We had no jobs here.
And you did know that you were going to start your own business coming here to Florida, or did you think you were going to work for another company until you got established? How does that work?
And that was up in the air too. I knew that I was going to take a break because working 48, 50 hours a week, I was taking 15 to 18 hours of online courses to finish my bachelor's, and then trying to keep up with being a mom and working out and everything else. I needed a break. So we knew we were going to take a 2 or 3 month kind of chill out period, but we both got bored. And I found that really interesting that, the dream is to not work anymore, right? Well, I didn't work for 2 or 3 months and I was so bored.
So you found out that's just not you.
That's not for me.
That's not for you.
Apparently I'm a worker. That's in my DNA. So,
well, taking a pause on that, talking about DNA, we'll talk about the DNA of this beautiful palette. So we're using the Soft Glam palette by Anastasia, Beverly Hills. It's a beautiful palette. Like, it just has lots of neutrals in there. So you can do a lot of really fun stuff with this. So we're going to go in and we're going to do, like I mentioned, a soft glam. So we're going to take some of these browns, these auburn colors, and we're just going to apply that to her and just give her like a nice glam look and just bring her to life. So we'll start here with burnt orange. We'll go in the crease, and then we'll also build it up with some sienna, and then go over her lid with the rustic. And you'll see as I'm building, and then we'll kind of touch upon it again, and then we'll wing it out at the end with like a darker brown color, but we'll jump in. So go ahead and we'll go back to you.
So we did work for other people
Look at me.
when we first got here, and just quickly realized we were both not about that life anymore. And so my husband said, I'm going to get my contractor's license and we're going to do this. And I said, I never really wanted to run a small business, but okay, let's do it. So I helped him. He got his contractor's license and I helped him form the business. So when I say I'm a half owner, especially in a trades business, it comes out a lot like, oh, you're his bookkeeper or his receptionist. Like, no, I was the one that formed the LLC. I'm the one that handled our operating agreement. I set up all of our systems with the accounting, with even our CRM. I did handle phones for a while, but I'm done. I cannot handle being a receptionist anymore.
Listen, owning your own business, you got to do it all sometimes until you figure it out, until you get to that next step.
Exactly. So he handled phones for a while, then I handled phones for a while. And then we now have another solution for that. But we just grew so fast. It was, I can thank networking for that.
So you're big on networking.
Huge on networking.
And what do you think is special about like networking? Like, how did you make that work for you? Because I feel like some people can network and really not make it work for them. Like, it's
definitely that.
How did you make it work for you?
So to be honest with you, you can go to networking events and wear yourself out and not have any progress. But I learned that it is a muscle you have to flex because nobody's comfortable going into a huge group of people and just throwing yourself out there like that, especially strangers. Like, that is so hard to do. So there's always a level of anxiety going into it. But I found that really making a personal connection with the people that you meet, and it's all in the follow-up. So you're not just gathering business cards and putting them into a CRM. For me, it was, meeting these people, having as much as you can, good conversation with them, getting to know their business. And then when I got home, I would take those cards, I would find them on Facebook or LinkedIn, and I would friend request them and then follow up from there.
Because I've heard that multiple times from multiple successful business owners that the success is in the follow-up.
It is. It's in the follow-up, but then I also really adhere to an abundance mentality or mindset, and I give more than I expect to receive. And so I found that when I really established those great networking partners, calling them out on Facebook made me memorable. And when I'm comfortable, and I don't just give a referral just to give a referral, and I actually don't care for some of those groups that require you to refer.
Yep, I know.
Just
what you're
because
talking
you're
about.
in the group,
Yeah.
I won't do it. I want to make sure that you're legitimate and that you're going to, take care of whoever I send your way. But calling them out on Facebook and helping them build their business makes me memorable, and in turn I get those referrals tenfold. It just seems
So you feel like the sowing the good seed has helped you reap the good seed.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. 100%. You have to give more than you're willing to receive for a long time too, because it's not like I started networking and the next week we were booming. I networked for almost a year. And then I had to dial it back because we were so busy we couldn't keep up. We can talk about real estate, because real estate, oh my goodness, I just got my butt kicked for the first 2 years. It was the hardest thing I've ever done.
I've heard that multiple times from many different people in real estate.
Yes, oh my gosh. I think my first year, and so again, I don't prescribe to manipulation tactics. I actually cannot stand that. And that's what a lot of people preach. I was more relationship based in my first, which is harder to grow to me.
Well, yeah, because it's the know, like, and trust factor.
Right.
And people got to actually trust you before they're gonna.
Yeah. And I didn't know anybody and nobody knew me. So I think I sold one house at $150,000 my first year.
Hey, a win is a win. We
Exactly.
celebrate every win around here.
Yeah, a win is a win. I totally agree. But because of that relationship mentality, it really blossomed. And in my third year, I'm in my fifth year. Yeah, third year was actually my best year. And I did 5 million in sales. And I had one really great sale at 3.5. And it was just
one house was 3 point. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
You must have felt like on top of the world.
Oh my gosh. It was like every manifestation or dream, like when I moved here, my goal was like, I want to make 6 figures without my husband, right? Like I want to make 6 figures by myself. How am I going to do that? And there's so many times I wanted to quit. There's so many times that I wanted to give up. There was so many nights where I wasn't sleeping, just full of anxiety, because you don't know when you're transitioning, especially from employee to entrepreneur mindset, you don't know what you're supposed to be doing. Like you have your schedule when you have a job that you go to, like you wake up, you go, you're given your list of tasks and your roles and responsibilities. When you're moving into that entrepreneurial role, you don't have that. You don't know. And so you wake up every day thinking, I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't know if this is what I should be doing. But
all you can do is the best that you can. Like you're just trying to figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
And you kind of have to make up your own schedule. And no one's saying, Shelbi, get up. Shelbi, it's time to work. You have to be like, Shelbi, get up.
Shelbi, get
time
up.
To work.
Exactly. So it was very, very, very anxiety inducing. But like you said, you just keep going. I always reference Dory. Just keep swimming.
Oh,
keep
yes.
Swimming.
The classic.
Yes.
How do you keep your mindset sharp in your business?
Oh, I had to learn to take care of myself, because what is very easy to fall into is this hustle culture. And there is, an extent where you need to work hard. Like you need to be a hard worker. You also need to take care of yourself. And unfortunately, I learned that the hard way, because I was not taking care of myself. At one point, I was working 40 hours a week. I was networking 4 or 5 nights a week. And then I was showing houses on the weekend. That was okay for a little while. And you can do that for a little while.
It's just not sustainable.
It's not sustainable. And I actually destroyed my cortisol. I destroyed my adrenal glands, my body, my hormones went out of whack, everything. Because I burnt myself out. And so now I've had to work out of burnout and really learn how to prioritize myself. So mindset is a part of that. Yes, definitely work hard. you're not gonna make it if you can't work hard. But on the flip side of that, you have to prioritize your health and your mental health. And so that is a huge, huge, huge thing that a lot of people don't talk about. And I think that, not to get dark or heavy, but I think that
we're here to keep it real, because honestly, this is going to be for people watching who are in the same boat as you and might be struggling with the same things and want to know, how did you overcome? How are you managing your business? Because there's going to be other business owners and people who want to hear. So yes, keep it real.
So for real, your mental health and being an entrepreneur is going to expose every weakness that you have. And if you cannot learn to overcome or deal or take care of your mental health, you're going to spiral, and it's not going to be pretty. So I now am a huge advocate of therapy. She really helps me process, talk things out, gives me language to things.
I can also vouch for this. I'm a huge advocate for therapy as well.
Yes. Therapy's great. And then I also had to kind of accept who I was as a person. And so since basically the end of 2020, I've been on a huge search and discovery on what's going on in here.
With your health.
Yes. So my health was the big wake-up call.
And that's what led to all these positive changes,
yes.
It sounds like.
Yep. And that's exactly when I decided, like, I can't keep working 3 jobs. I can run 2 businesses. That's cool. But I cannot keep, working full-time for other people. Because I worked part-time up until, I want to say it was November of 2019. So it was actually 2020 that I was still working for other people and running 2 businesses.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I finally said, I can't keep doing this, and I have to prioritize myself and my sleep. I'm a huge advocate of sleep.
Oh, I love my sleep, girl. I need at least my 7 hours.
I call my bed that's my emotional support animal, is my bed.
Yes. So we're gonna take a pause really quick. As we're talking about working on our business, we're also working on the progression of her beautiful makeup. I'm also going to, before I apply the foundation, I'm gonna put down a niacinamide serum on her face, and also hyaluronic acid. The hyaluronic acid will just plump up the face, and then this niacinamide will help just like with the textures and just refine anything like that. So this is good stuff, and it feels like a little spa.
Yay.
So it might be cold. Sorry.
It's okay.
So we'll put this on. This is just really good every time before you apply your makeup, and it really just makes your skin look really nice, and it gives it like that quality look. So we just want to, and you don't want to put too much on. You just want to put enough to where the skin absorbs it. But you don't want to drown your skin in it. But just like a nice couple drops. And you always want to apply your serums first. So if you have a moisturizer or something like that you also want to do, that's okay. But that comes on after the serum. So it goes the serums first and then your moisturizer. So that's how that would go on. So we have this going on. That's the niacinamide. How does that feel? Okay.
Wonderful.
So we have this. And then we want to do a hyaluronic acid. This is going to plump up the skin. My favorite. Right here. And Shelbi has nice skin. So she just has like very nice smooth skin. Doesn't look like too dry or anything, so this will just be good for her complexion. There's different products depending on what skin types you have, so as we progress through this series, as there's different skin types that come up, we'll address those issues, and I'll go through different products with you all and tell you how to address it and how to apply those products to the face. So we'll just let that sit and soak. How does that feel?
Awesome. Wonderful.
Okay, so we're gonna take a break. We're gonna apply the foundation here, and we're also gonna do a little bit of liquid liner on top. So we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna come back and we'll go through the rest of the process with you. All right, so we were able to set her base makeup. We went ahead and finished up with some liquid eyeliner on top to set the eyes. We did some foundation. So we have that set. So now we want to go ahead and chisel out her cheeks and do a little bit of a contour, because Shelby and I were talking about this before and she really wanted this. So we're going to go ahead and do this for her, hook her up. So let's go ahead with the tapered chiseler brush.
I've never contoured ever.
Well, there's a first for everything.
Yes.
And you know what I noticed too about when I was reading up on you guys on your website is that you really value taking care of your employees, which is unheard of. A lot of businesses don't really care. They just care about money and their bottom line. Right. But it looks like you really care about your employees and taking care of them.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of our and that stems from our history and working for other people. And I think that's a big societal thing too, is we've got so many big corporations that just exploit their employees like as cheap as possible. And I don't want that. We pay our guys more than the average around here. We actually pay our guys more than the biggest companies here in the area. And I do that because I know the cost of living. Again, having that real estate experience, I know what my guys can live on here in the area and I know what they can't. So yes, here in Florida, the sunshine tax is real. The wages don't match the cost of living at all, but
no,
that's not going to be how I run my business. I want my guys taken care of, and they know that. So I make sure, we're a small business, but we still offer medical benefits. We pay in full for their dental. We pay in full for their life insurance. I take them on company outings. They get paid holidays. If we do a company outing, it's paid. It's not like they're using PTO for that. So, and I make sure they get PTO too. It's, I think I give them 2.5 weeks after 60 days.
That's amazing.
And that's all stemming just from my experience.
So I'll be working part-time with Loftin Plumbing.
Yeah.
That'll be my next side hustle.
But when you are hiring us, you're not just hiring a plumber, right? You're hiring somebody, you're supporting these other families too, and making sure they're taken care of. So
well, and when you take care of your employees like that, you also attract quality, which then pumps quality back into your business.
Exactly.
And now looking back on like your career and in real estate and in plumbing, what accomplishment are you most proud of? Like, what is the thing that really sticks out to you that you're like, wow, I'm so proud of this?
I don't like to base everything about money, but it's really hard because that's kind of our societal benchmark, if you'd say that. But I really had thought about it, and I came from nothing. I didn't have a trust fund. I didn't have rich parents. I didn't have anything. And to go from being paycheck to paycheck employee to 5 years later, I have the freedom to be an entrepreneur. And then it really hit me that we make payments now that are bigger than my yearly salary were before. And really consistently doing 7 figures in sales. Like that to me has been my biggest whoa, wait, kind of accomplishment. And it did hit me, a couple weeks ago that technically speaking, while I may not have $1 million in liquid assets, technically net worth wise, I think technically speaking, I have a net worth of 7 figures with the businesses now and all of the equipment and all of that. And I'm just like, that's mind blowing to me.
That's major.
That it's one of those things where I'm like, oh wow, all of the work that I've done over the last 5 years and the lessons that I've learned, and it is hard, but when you realize it's like, oh my gosh, that was big for me more recently.
Well, and I can, relate to that too. I grew up in a single mom household. Like we didn't really have much. So it's like you're fighting your whole way through life, and you're fighting and you're fighting and you're fighting for a better future, fighting for a better future.
Yeah.
So if it comes, you're just like, wow.
Right.
Has that really happened?
Yeah.
Which is incredible that you've accomplished that. You know what I mean?
Thank you. I struggle with compliments and I'm working on that. But I struggle with really like the actualization and like, oh wait, like what I've done is an accomplishment, right? Because I feel like as an entrepreneur, and especially one that has perfectionism and stress, like success and being driven, it's never enough, right? You never really sit back and you're like, okay, I'm good now. And you don't really look at what you've accomplished.
You tried taking 3 months off, and look how that worked out for you.
Right. It didn't work out. So for me, like I to sit down and look and say, oh my God, look at what we've built in just 5 years. But look at where we can go and where this will set us up and where we can be in the future because of these decisions and the hard work we put in. So to me, that's kind of the biggest accomplishment.
So if somebody was starting out in their own business or something right now, and that they're watching, what kind of advice would you give to somebody that says, I want to start my own business, I want to try to earn 7 figures? Like, what would be your advice to them?
First, I would almost say, get yourself a mentor. And if it's not a mentor, then somebody that you know and trust that has done it. That you can bounce your ideas off of, that you can talk to when you are, down, and you really want to make sure you're setting up your LLC properly, and that you're doing your accounting properly, and that you're filing your taxes properly, and that it really is separate from, don't be commingling your personal stuff. That's huge to set yourself up for success. And I think the flip side of that is really take a look at what you want out of your life and your goals, and then make your decisions according to that.
All right. So last but not least, I added this color Fairy. It's like a nice highlighter color in her inner corners just to make her eyes pop. And then also against her brow bone just to really pop the eyes and make it really all come together. So that completes the look for today. Shelbi, thank you so much for coming on and joining the show. Go ahead and tell everybody how they can find you on all the socials, all the things.
Okay, so I'm on Facebook under my name, Shelbi Loftin. You can find us on TikTok, Loftin Plumbing, and actually Tipsy Travel if you want to follow me in my travels.
I just followed you the other day, and I've been like stalking your page, liking everything. So I have that.
And I am on Instagram, but I'm not very good at Instagram. But that's just S Loftin Realtor. So yeah, that's how you can find me.
And is there anything else that you'd like to add for our guests?
No, just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming. Well, thank you everybody so much for tuning in today. I look forward to continuing on this journey with you. Until next time.